Hello, Nigel here. Surrounded by interesting people, and so fascinated by them that I had to share their odd behaviour with a lot of you. Americans. Some of the finest people on the planet, and if you don't believe me, ask any American and they'll certainly tell you. Americans as a group love four things. God. Who in America is none other than Jesus Christ, who despite being born and raised in the Middle East seems to have blonde hair and blue eyes. Old Glory. It's what they call the Stars and Stripes, and you'd better show her proper respects. Mum. Not your mum. Someone else's apparently, based on the huge number of cougar and MILF porno sites. Apparently loving someone else's mother has never been more popular here in the old USA. Apple pie, which apparently Americans seem to think they've invented. And baseball. Why the fascination with the game they invented? Well, my knowledge of it is encyclopedic, but here goes. Baseball was invented during the 19th century and played initially in pastures and open fields. The game is in essence to see who can hit a ball with a stick and run to a series of bases. Piece of piss, really? Not quite. They're literally books of rules, but for the sake of argument, I'll give you the condensed version. Baseball. It's played in a park on a diamond. Imagine a diamond. Okay, imagine a bigger diamond. Perfect. Note the diamond has four bases, three of which are square, the fourth of which couldn't make up its mind if it wanted to be a diamond or if it wanted to be square, so it compromised. That is the one you start on. They call it home plate, which is odd because everything else is called a base or a bag, not to be confused with this O-bag. Home plate has elongated rectangles on either side, and you have to stand to the left or the right of it in one of the boxes depending on whether you're left or right-handed. These are called batter's boxes. Still with me? Good. If you're standing in one of the boxes on either side of home plate, you're staring at a round mound of dirt called the pitcher's mound. Meet the pitcher. His job is to throw a ball in your direction between the two elongated rectangles and over the plate. And your job is to hit it with a bat. Is it something as beautiful and functional as a cricket bat? Of course not. A flat bat would make perfect sense, so the American baseball bat is rounded. Yes, hitting a round ball with a round stick. Oh, and did I mention that it might be travelling at speeds up to 98 miles an hour? Oh, must have forgotten. You have 3 attempts to hit it. If you swing and miss, that's called a strike. You get 3 of those and you're out. Let's say the ball hits you. It does happen from time to time, and if it doesn't render you unconscious, you get to limp to first base. But if it does render you unconscious, then a member of your team takes the base for you, and they tell you about it when you wake up. But let's say you hit it, but it goes outside the lines drawn to connect the bases. Well, on either side, the left or the right. If you haven't any strikes, it's called a foul. 2 fouls equal 2 strikes. But if you have 2 strikes and hit a foul, you can conceivably hit them for the rest of the afternoon. If you hit one and someone catches it, you're out. If you hit it and run towards a base and someone throws it to that base before you get there, and the opposing player who's guarding the base catches it and tags you, you're out. If you hit it and no one catches it, you run to your right to the first base, and if no one manages to throw the ball to the player on the opposing team standing behind it, you get to stay on that base until someone else on your team hits another ball. If they catch the ball your teammate hits, stay put. You can advance, but they can also throw the ball to the base you're attempting to run to. If no one is hitting and the opposing team has the ball, you can try to advance to the next base. That's called a steal. Statistically, it's impossible, but it does make for good theatre. If you make it around the 3 bases and back to home plate without being tagged out, you score a point. Just one thing. If 3 of your mates are out, then your time on base is a meaningless condom to a girl dating a professional basketball player. Each team gets time in the field and at bat, and each of these is called an inning. The top of the inning, you and your mates are at bat, and the bottom of it, the other chaps. Or the other way round. A baseball game is composed of 9 innings, and if the score is tied at the end of those, then you go into extra ones. Now let's look at the teams. Each team has 9 players. A pitcher. He's the bloke throwing the ball at you at 100 miles an hour. Remember him? Thought you would. There's a catcher. He's the poor kid who has to catch the ball being thrown at you at 100 miles an hour. Fortunately for him, he wears sufficient padding, but it doesn't always help. There are 3 basemen, whose job's to guard the bases, to either catch the balls hit at or near them, or to work together to tag you out when you're too close to a base. Working with the baseman is an old chap called the shortstop. The shortstop stands between second and third base, and his job's to catch things that are either between the 2 bases or behind the pitcher or behind the baselines. He can also cover second and third base if the basemen are trying to do something in the midst of a play. He also hustles to help in the shallow infield, which brings us to the outfield. There are 3 outfielders, left, right, and centre. What's required to play in the outfield? First, you need an arm like a cannon to be able to throw the entire length of the field if needed. You need to be able to run very far, very quickly, and to be able to jump as if your bollocks are being set on fire, and to catch everything from the common cold to syphilis. The exception: right fielders. Most batters are right-handed, and hit things to either their left or centre. In other words, left or centre field. If you can hit a ball from here to Kentucky, but you can't catch a girl in a bordello with a suitcase full of euros, then right field is the position for you. Unless you're facing a team full of left-handed batters, in which case you're buggered, aren't you? Now, American professional baseball has 2 leagues, American and National. Each of these is divided into 3 divisions, East, West, and Central. They play 162 games, and at the end of those, whoever has the best record makes it to postseason play. Divisional championships are usually where 5 games are played between 2 teams, and the first to make it to 3 games, or 3 wins, gets to advance. When they make it to the league championships, the best of 7 series. Whomever wins 4 of the 7 advances on to the World Series. Well, whoever wins the American League Championships and the National League Championships gets to face off in a best of 7 series called the World Series. Which is odd, because no one outside of America ever makes it to the World Series. Go figure, right? If you win the World Series, you get a positively hideous trophy and rings big enough to be visible from other planets, and the respect and admiration of everyone who's ever attempted to hit a ball with a stick, and women who look like this. Good Lord. Hang on. Damn. Now, you'll excuse me, I have to go outside and see if I can master the manly art of hitting a ball with a rounded stick. I'm Nigel, and that's how I see it.